get you motivated.
Some people let me get them, I know they hate it, cause we winning and motivated. Glistening and inundated with swagger. I'm trying to keep with my daughter to hear some bullshit. Not from Chicago, so don't talk to me about bullshit. Niggas in the motherfucking game wanna talk about the swag and the ice and the whips they dry. But a nigga like me getting bread, showing love, so the niggas don't respect my grind. It's going down, chasing the crown. Watch up, be one of the illest around, like Justin Rihanna and Kanye. Nigga, I'm running the town.
Slow it down,
My vocals tight, so you can cut the. If you a dog, I'm Michael V. I take a nigga, girl, I don't play fair. I take him to the bedroom,
and they stay there.
I'm gonna climb, give me mine, running out of time, money on the line, gotta shine, give it a look out when I try, won't stop. Vision in my mind, rockstar on top. Wait a minute, when a nigga really get it, I'ma go off. I gotta prove it to him. I think I'm MJ, moonwalking.
I'm trying to eat, you trying to sleep. If you a dog, then I'm a beast, so.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, misery bots of all ages, back again to talk about how Mortal Kombat 11 is more popular than Cyberpunk 2027 in 2023. Mortal Kombat 11 is the game that just ceases to impress, bro. Like, it just keeps on going. It keeps on impressing me every time I look into like the statistics of this game and like how people are still just loving this game, which really makes me excited and kind of disappointed at the same time. But just to make things clear, like, I know Mortal Kombat 11 and Cyberpunk 2077 are two different genres of games. It's just to compare these two juggernauts of a game and to see that Mortal Kombat 11 is still more popular and more played than Cyberpunk 2077 was just a crazy revelation because of, one, how popular Cyberpunk 2077 is and was. Cyberpunk 2077 had so much hype around it when it was coming out. And in 2023, it makes it even more relevant that Mortal Kombat 11 is more popular than Cyberpunk 2077 in the year 2023 because of all of the updates Cyberpunk got in 2023. It had gotten revamps and overhauls to its gameplays, as well as the Phantom Liberty DLC, which was massively popular, sold millions of units, and revitalized love for Cyberpunk 2077. Critically reviewed very well, all that good stuff. Meanwhile, mind you, Mortal Kombat 11 hasn't really had an update since late 2021, early 2022, maybe. And even in 2023, when Cyberpunk, a game that has sold as much as Cyberpunk 2077 has sold, and all of the updates and content that was still being dropped, Mortal Kombat 11 was still more popular. But before we get into this video, if you like that intro music, definitely check out the Adrian Rockstar SoundCloud in the descriptions below. Let's get it. Now, before I get into the actual numbers and statistics of this particular video, I want to start off by saying, hell, I even played Cyberpunk 2077 more than Mortal Kombat 11. I played the shit ton of Mortal Kombat 11. Now, in Mortal Kombat 11, I played more sessions. Obviously, you can see more sessions played on Steam on Mortal Kombat 11 and in Apex Legends than I played in Cyberpunk 2077. But Cyberpunk 2077, especially when that Phantom Liberty DLC came out, man, when I tell you that Phantom Liberty DLC was great, I was on that shit. These sessions was long, bro. These sessions was long. I was in here growing a beard. I was in here having to like pull myself out of the chair because my shit was starting to like meld into the seat and stuff like that. Like, yo, I was on Cyberpunk 2077. That's why, as you can see, it's 55 sessions played, which is still a good amount of sessions. And it's 11%. Like, it's the most played game I have on Steam for the year 2023. Yeah, Mel's Steam year in review 2023. And I played a lot of games. I played 32 games in total. You know, I liked a lot of achievements and stuff like that. And these were the top 3 play games in 2023. Obviously, I love Mortal Kombat 11, so I was still playing it a lot. A lot of sessions, smaller sessions, you know, like maybe an hour here, hour and a half there, 2 hours there. But when it came to, and it was the same thing with Apex, like, you know what I mean? Like 2 hours here, 3 hours here. When I was playing Cyberpunk 2077, 3 hours here, 4 hours here. I was trying 100% this game, bro. Like I was 4 or 5 hours. It was some days I was putting in like 10 hours and shit like that. I was trying 100% this game because I replayed the whole game from scratch. I replayed it. Like I had already beat the game, but I went through and I replayed the whole game from scratch and started just going through, hitting off a lot of the side missions. I didn't 100% it. After a while, I kind of burned myself out on it, but I was on it, and then even with the Phantom Liberty DLCs, I even went back. I went back and replayed the game several times just to see the different endings and stuff like that. Like I was playing this game for long periods of time. So that just goes for me to show, like in 2023, Cyberpunk 2077 was very relevant and very popular. And from the statistics I was able to look up, there was actually more people still playing Mortal Kombat 11, and that Mortal Kombat 11 was actually more popular than Cyberpunk 2077. As you can see here, September, the Phantom Liberties DLC dropped, and then like October, November, and December, I was just going ham on the sessions, bro. Just going ham on the sessions. And then you have Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat obviously played throughout the year, mostly played earlier in the year. As you can see, it starts to dwindle as, certain games came out in June. Street Fighter 6 had released in June, so that's why the playtime and percentages drops drastically. In September, we had Mortal Kombat 1 and the Phantom Liberty DLC, and that's why like after September it kind of like drops off pretty heavily here. But that just goes to show, like, do people still playing Mortal Kombat 11 in 2023? And I mean, if you see here, like, I mean, I was playing Apex Legends as well. They must have dropped something around this time, but I was playing it a good amount around that time. And Mortal Kombat, I was still playing Mortal Kombat, but you can see a little drop off there as well. And that's why it kind of drops off so steeply, because I just started playing other games. But I would still always go back to Mortal Kombat 11. As you can see, like every month I'm on it. I'm in playing some sort of Mortal Kombat 11. And then Street Fighter, as you can see, June really high, July, August starts to drop off a bit. September fell off almost completely because of Mortal Kombat 1 and Phantom Liberty and stuff like that. But then obviously I picked it back up, started playing a little bit more, because Street Fighter 6 is a great game. Just because I was playing a shit ton of Mortal Kombat 1 earlier in there, it doesn't mean I wasn't playing other games. As you can see, Death Stranding up here and stuff like that. So I was playing other games alongside playing Mortal Kombat 11. But Mortal Kombat 11 is always that game I tend to go back to, playing games on my Steam and stuff like that, my Steam Deck and stuff like that. Yes, your boy has a Steam Deck. Your boy is a deck boy, a decky boy. Let's go. As you can see, 32 games played last year. I played a shit ton of games last year, but Mortal Kombat 11 is always that game I was going back to. And that just goes to show the longevity and the greatness of this particular game. But with all that being said, let's get into the numbers. Now, like I said, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty was reviewed very well. 9 out of 10 on IGN. Almost a 90 on Metacritic. PC Mag, they got 4 out of 5 and stuff like that. So the game was highly rated. And I specifically am mentioning the Phantom Liberty DLC because that's what came out in 2023. Give me a second. I'm dropping a lot of this knowledge and these facts and statistics. My throat's a little parched. I gotta get a little water. Get a little water, you know what I mean? There's a lot of talking, a lot of facts being thrown out here, a lot of numbers, a lot of statistics being thrown out here. But even with that, like I was saying, Cyberpunk is a game that is really popular. Like Cyberpunk 2077 was a really popular game. The game actually sold. Shoot, the game was so popular, right? Hold on, let's see if we can. The game was so popular that it sold more than 8 million pre-orders. Before the game came out, there was more than 8 million pre-orders for Cyberpunk. That's how popular, that's the type of hype we're talking about for this particular game. That's the type of game we're talking about. The hype levels to where, just to put things in perspective, most fighting games don't even sell 8 million units in their lifetimes. In their lifetime. In fact, in the 40 years or so that fighting games have existed, there might be 10 games that have sold 8 million units, I believe. Like, the number is low. Low. Let's see if we can find it. All time. Best selling. I think these are just going to talk about the. Oh, okay, here we go. So you go to the wiki or whatever. Let's see. So 13. There's been in the what roughly 40-year history of fighting games. There's only been 13 fighting games that have sold over 8 million units in their entirety. Meanwhile, Cyberpunk 2077 had 8 million units before the game even came out. That's the type of popularity we're talking about. In total, it actually sold 13 million. Now, these numbers are somewhat old. As you can see, it's from December 20th, 2020. So that's actually, it sold 13 million units a year after it came out. That's another reason why I'm comparing these two games too, is that both of these games launched in the same year. Mortal Kombat launched, I want to say April of 2019, and Cyberpunk 2077 launched in December of 2019. So they launched the same year. Both games relatively were popular games, you know, Mortal Kombat being one of the more popular fighting games, and Cyberpunk just being this juggernaut of a popular game. It's a popular franchise, a genre in terms of the Cyberpunk genre. It was made by a popular studio, and following The Witcher 3, which is a really popular game and stuff like that. So a lot of hype around both of these games, and you can see how, you know, this game just in 2019 just completely did its thing in 2019, and even a year later, it sold 13 million copies. Just a year later, mind you, it took Mortal Kombat 11 3 years to sell 15 million, whereas this was basically at 15 million almost a year, a little over a year after it launched, basically. So yeah, I also go on to say that and this is 2022, 2020 that launched. It's with all of the updates and stuff that has come out for Cyberpunk 2077, it is not a stretch to believe that this game has probably already sold over 20 million units. This is December 2020, it was at 13 million, and the game continued to sell because of all of the updates and sales and stuff like that. Eventually, by like 2021, I think it was considered that the game was fixed and stuff like that. But then you have 2023, which has a whole bunch of overhauls and revamps and stuff like that. It had a sale, like a bundle sale, where you can buy Cyberpunk and the Phantom Liberty DLC as a collection, a complete collection kind of situation. And then even if you look at the Phantom Liberty DLC, you're talking about 5 million units sold. And this article is as of January 4th, 2024. So by basically the end of 2023, the Phantom Liberty DLC alone has sold over 5 million units. And let's say like some of it might have went into January or whatever. By November 28th, 2023, it was already at 4.3 million. By November, by not even in December, by the end of November, it was already at 4.3 million units sold. So to put things in perspective, right? Just to put things in perspective for you guys, that's at least 4.3 million people playing the game. Just think about it. Like, if you had 4.3 million units sold, right, of your DLC, that's at least 4.3 million people playing your game. Because why would you buy a DLC you're not going to play? Obviously, you buy that DLC, your intent is to play it. Most people may not be able to get to it right away. Some people may not be able to get to it right away, but for the majority, most people who buy that game are going to play that game within a reasonable amount of time. They're going to play that DLC within a reasonable amount of time. So that's at least 4.3 million people who were playing Cyberpunk 2077 in 2023. At max, it was 5 million at max. So we're talking about between 4.3 to 5 million people playing Cyberpunk 2077 in 2023. Now, if we go here, and I've already showed you guys these stats and stuff like that, but we go here, you go to true achievements, true trophies or something like that, true trophies or whatever, and this right here tells you the top PS5 games of 2023, 100 most played PS5 and PS4 games, and just so people are aware, Cyberpunk 2077 is on both PS4 and PS5, as well as Xbox One X and Xbox Series X, and on PC. Same thing like Mortal Kombat. The only thing that it's not on is Nintendo Switch. That's the only thing. Mortal Kombat is actually 11 is on Nintendo Switch, but Cyberpunk is not. But for the most part, all the other platforms, Mortal Kombat 11 and Cyberpunk 2077 are on the same platforms. But when you look at the true trophies, you can see here, Mortal Kombat 11 is the 28th most played game in 2023. And again, these are the top 100 most played on PS5 and PS4 games this year, which was 2023. And this is the article you can go to, and then there's I'll try to save the link into the descriptions below, but you can just go to this link and check for yourself, True Trophies. And these are the most played games on PlayStation. And Mortal Kombat 11 is sitting at 28, Cyberpunk right underneath it, sitting at 29, which means there was more people in 2023 playing Mortal Kombat 11 than Cyberpunk 2077. Now, I already showed you guys, Phantom Liberty sold between 4.3 and 5 million units. That's at least between 4.3 to 5 million people playing that game in 2023. So you can say that there was probably between 4.3 and 5 million people playing Mortal Kombat 11 in 2023. Now, if that's not enough, like PlayStation's only one platform, you feel me? The PlayStation's only one platform. We can go to Xbox. Our 100 most played Xbox games on 2023's list shows the power of Game Pass. And on here, you can see that Mortal Kombat 11 is the number 31 most played game on Xbox. 31 most game played. Cyberpunk is the 44th most played game on Xbox. And even if you want to look at the previous numbers, so these are like the previous week's numbers and stuff like that. So, last year's numbers. Sorry, these are the last year's numbers. So that would have been 2022's numbers. In 2022, Mortal Kombat was the 32nd most played game. So actually, a year later, a year where it didn't get any sort of content or anything like that, more people actually started playing Mortal Kombat 11 from just one slot from 32 to 31, and actually less people started playing Cyberpunk 2077 because it dropped from the 33rd spot to the 45th spot. That's crazy. That goes to show how popular Mortal Kombat 11 is. How people, even to this day, people are still liking Mortal Kombat 11. To think that there's possibly between 4.3 to 5 million people, between that number, still playing Mortal Kombat 11 is staggering. It's staggering. Now, Mortal Kombat is more of a console kind of game, whereas a game like Cyberpunk is more geared towards PC players. And you have me there. If we go to the Steam numbers, right? I'm a fair man. We go to the Steam numbers. You go to Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 on Steam sitting at 2,700 players. Just for, some sort of context, the newer Mortal Kombat game, right, is actually sitting at less, at 1,800. So Mortal Kombat 11 is actually still more popular than the newest Mortal Kombat game. But when we look at Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk is still a juggernaut on PC. Still a juggernaut. 36,845 concurrent people playing. On Steam. So yes, on Steam, Cyberpunk is definitely more popular than Mortal Kombat 11, but it could be argued that overall Mortal Kombat 11 is still more popular and there's still more people playing Mortal Kombat 11 because both on Xbox and PlayStation, we know that more people are playing it. And you also have to take into account that people are playing it on Nintendo Switch. I couldn't get the Nintendo Switch numbers, unfortunately. It's harder to get the Nintendo Switch numbers for like third-party games for some reason. But Cyberpunk isn't on, and that's just going to be by default because unfortunately Cyberpunk 2077 is not on Nintendo Switch. But on PC, Cyberpunk is far more played than anything, even like Street Fighter 6. I mean, you've seen the numbers for Cyberpunk just now, but even if you look at a game as popular as Street Fighter 6, that's 13,000. Cyberpunk still triples this number. So Cyberpunk 2077, massively popular on PC. But tell me what you think. Do you think that Cyberpunk 2077 is more popular than Mortal Kombat 11? Do you think that the PC numbers are just so astronomically high on PC that it completely obliterates and negates any progress that Mortal Kombat 11 has on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch to make Cyberpunk 2077 the more popular game in 2023? Let me know in the comments below. I am curious to know this because, like, statistically, you look again, PlayStation, it's more Mortal Kombat 11 is more popular on PlayStation. Mortal Kombat 11 is more popular on Xbox, and by default is more popular on Nintendo Switch because Cyberpunk 2077 is not on Nintendo Switch. We know that, you know, the PlayStation 4 has sold over 100,000 boxes. We know the Xbox is pretty high. We know the Nintendo Switch has sold over 120 million Nintendo Switches, and it's over 100 million PlayStations as well. And there's like maybe 50, 60 million Xboxes and stuff like that. So between those three consoles, you're talking about over 200, maybe 300 million consoles sold that Mortal Kombat 11 would have been able to be purchased on. And then you have the PC, which I believe Steam records like almost 200 million people or something like that. So just let me know in the comments below. I am curious, but the statistics, I mean, either way you want to look at it, both games are massively popular. Both games are still massively popular. And this is just to go to show, like, yo, Mortal Kombat 11, even though it hasn't gotten any updates in like 2 years, it's still a massively popular game. People are still loving it. People are still playing it. The fact that even if you just go by these numbers, the Phantom Liberty numbers, and it's anywhere between 4.3 and 5 million units in 2023, that means there's at least 4.3 million people that were playing that game in 2023. And for Mortal Kombat 11 to still have at least two consoles that we know about, or at least on the console space, being more played than Cyberpunk 2077 is impressive. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, your life is a fantasy.
Boys in the hood with big dreams of being superstars. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't, but you gotta work super hard.